So I have a theory.
Okay.
I don't think this theory will apply to you in particular because you were exposed to more music much earlier than I was. But I find it's generally true if you ask enough people, although I guess you could say that about anything. What is your favorite, or what is the first Weird Al song that you remember? Like actually listening to and enjoying, like, oh, this song came out. This is a cool song.
The very first one,
Yeah.
it was either Amish Paradise. I'm trying to think of his older ones. I know I didn't hear like Fat and all that until later on. I distinctly remember my uncle having one of his albums, so I remember the 8 Mile cover he did about the trash day. I don't know if that was a popular
I don't
one.
even know that song.
Oh, I'll play that one for you. It's really funny. It goes after it's based on Lose Yourself, but it's about trash. I'd have to say it's Amish Paradise. It's the one that's popping in my head the most. It's like one of the first ones of his I really learned.
That's fair. That's a good one. Mine is probably Riding Dirty, which came after that one.
White and Nerdy.
White and Nerdy, yeah. That was the first one.
That's way after that one, bro.
Yeah. So my theory is you can tell a person's age based on the first Weird Al song that they remember.
Oh, probably not me then.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, it
that
definitely
one,
doesn't apply to
that
me.
one, that one didn't quite work out, but like
No, my
I
dad
remember.
liked comedy music too.
I remember being like when I discovered Weird Al, but when I personally discovered Weird Al, I remember talking about it to like one of my friends because it was that white nerdy rap, and I thought it was super funny and cool because I was like, I'm a nerd, and I showed it to all my friends, and we all thought it was hilarious. And I was talking about it one day at the park, I remember, and they're like, "Oh, you're talking about Weird Al?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got the new album. It's so great. I didn't know comedy albums you could do with music and shit." And they're like, "Oh yeah, like I loved his cover of like Eat It and the one the Star Wars one. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I do know that one.
That one.
Oh,
I know the song he covered, and I know it was a Star Wars thing.
Okay, well, I mean,
can't remember what it was. But they were talking about those, and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? We're talking about Weird Al. He comes out with music now. You're old. You don't know what you're talking about." And that was when I realized, like, oh my god. This dude's been like doing parodies for hella long.
Oh yeah, I guess I heard Amish Paradise very early on. My dad liked Papa Dice, liked Cletus T. Judd, which is essentially the country music version of Weird Al. He took a lot of popular country music. So I still listen to one song of his because it's super funny. But he listened to a lot of that comedy music and stuff like that. And like I said, I remember my uncle specifically having the album where I think he also made fun of the Hot in Here song by Nelly. So I remember that being on the album too. I can't remember the album. I never got fully into him because he was a comedy artist to me, which now looking back explains a lot of why I like Little Dicky and things like that. But it's been so long I couldn't think of the album. But yeah, no, I don't think that applies to me because I was introduced to a lot of music really early in my life.
There was a Christian group who did parodies of popular songs.
I do remember that.
I think they were called the Electric Amish.
I don't. Well, that doesn't ring a bell at all.
Okay, if it rings a bell for some of y'all back home, you're welcome.
I mean, I know there's a lot of things that kind of just took parodies of their own stuff, or not their own stuff, but took parodies. And am I not talking loud enough for you?
No, I'm looking at the levels.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm like, ooh, he's a little soft spoken today. I gotta.
I'm really focused.
down.
We got some feedback, so I'm really focused. I'm paying attention to what I say.
It's weird when you choose your words instead of just saying what's on your mind.
Yeah, instead of just letting the swearies pop out of your mouth.
The swearies?
The thou shalt not be saidties.
Man, so, I mean, now, if we're going to just break the barrier like that, we receive feedback that we've been swearing a lot, and we hear it.
And we agree.
And we agree with you, absolutely.
As soon as it was brought to my attention, I had to edit Fall Guys 4, and I wanted to scream.
Yeah, so we are being a little bit more selective with our words these days.
They will still slip.
And
I will still
absolutely.
Still cuss.
And it also...
I will still cuss. It's still
It
who I am.
made me immediately think of the swear tier list episode that we did on the podcast.
I would say it's not a personality, but by God, I'm still going to do it sometimes. But I'm going to pay close attention. It's good feedback. I like getting feedback. Period. So it's good feedback.
Absolutely. We don't have to just have discussions with ourselves. We can have discussions with all of you.
It's also nice to know we have avid listeners.
Ooh, good word. Avid.
See? Whenever you're not cussing, you can think of good words.
Yeah, but when I think of Avid, I think of Pro Tools, and then I get real mad.
You get real madvid.
I get real rabid.
Anyway, yeah. So what's the theory culminate to? Like, if somebody said their first Weird Al song they can remember was, do you only have the juxtaposition for that one song?
I mean, yeah, sure, but like that's
Like, if they
carried
don't
on.
say white and nerdy, are they old? Is that it?
No, if adults say white nerdy, then they're pretty young. They'd be our age. Do you consider yourself old?
No, I'm saying if.
Oh,
Well, not we're middle. I like to think of myself as hitting my unprimed years. It's been a nice fun run with all the lube in the system, but now I can feel it drying up, and I'm probably gonna hate the rest of it.
woof.
That's a joke. Every day is a gift.
Every day I grow stronger.
But no, like, is it just for white and nerdy that you have an answer to? Or if anybody answered anything else, do you have, like, an age guess? Like the fact that I said Amish Paradise. If somebody else random said Amish Paradise to you.
Amish Paradise would probably be like the decade above us. That Star Wars song, the decade above us. And then I feel like there was one other one that was really old.
Like born in the
obscure.
80s, so like 30s?
Yeah, like I didn't realize that Weird Al had such a deep discography. And so it was interesting to see, like, when we talked about it, how other people would talk about songs and covers that I had never heard before.
Okay, let me ask you another question then to kind of go off this theory. What is besides from the Hamilton polka, which we only know because it's Hamilton, what other popular song and since white and nerdy can you think of that's been popular amongst people?
When I was in my sophomore year of college or my junior year of college,
I'm thinking radio. I want like influence random off the street, not your guy.
What?
Not like your little tight clique of people.
No,
who would know.
he released a cover of Royals or a parody of Royals.
Oh, that is right.
It's
and
aluminum
Handy.
foil.
But that's still our age. Well,
But that would be the next generation down, I feel.
You think? You think that's
Because that would have been my
you think
college
that's
years. That would
yours?
be somebody else's teen years.
You think that's yeah, I guess that is Gen Z. No, is that Gen Z?
I don't know.
I guess. Oh yeah, because you're absolutely right. Because even Buttons, actually he's still a millennial, I think. Buttons is the one who showed me Foil, and then there was the Handyman one, and then there was the one that made fun of the song that everybody hates now. That's about date rape.
Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
It's the grammar one, and it was one of my favorite songs. But it was so funny because I broke every rule in that goddamn song, every rule. And I know it made Chia so happy to see that I realized that I broke every rule in that song, but I loved it. So the irony was so thick.
How thick was it?
You could make a sandwich. I don't know. That's always my thing. Like, the sarcasm was so thick in that sentence, I can make a sandwich with it. I don't know where I got it from, but I've had it
I was
since
gonna
I was
say
10.
I don't see the connection there, but that's fine.
I don't either. I guess I just like thick sandwiches. Speaking of thick sandwiches, have you seen the new Oreo stuffs? Like
What?
the Omega stuffed thing where it's just basically diabetes between two Oreo cookies?
I guess I haven't.
I saw them in the gas station today when we were walking or looking for batteries for the new spooky games.
Hold on, let me look at a picture.
Don't get confused with the one that has a picture of like a nice thick ass in the middle. There's actual like I thought it was
Okay.
I thought it was a joke because I saw the picture, the meme of like a nice thick booty and like some boxer shorts in between
Mega
two stuffed cookies. But no, I saw them in the gas station today and they look disgusting. I love the cream center of Oreo, but my God, there's too much jelly on my PBJ.
I'm just getting watches.
Watches?
I swear to God, I see Oreos most stuff.
Yeah, that.
Oh my God.
That.
That's a lot of cream, son.
Dude.
That's a lot of cream, son. That's like a soul-edged dollop.
I was gonna say I haven't cussed for the whole portion of this yet. That is the result of multiple gangbangs.
Oh, there wasn't a swear in that sentence. You're fine.
It's raunchy. I feel like that
I
goes
feel like
hand
that's
in hand.
PG-13 though.
No, it's not. Gangbang?
Well, I mean, not the act, you dumbass.
I was like,
the word.
I guess it's Steven Spielberg's fucking version of PG-13, but that ain't no.
I don't know if I've seen a Steven Spielberg film.
Oh well, they cut that part out of the movie, if that's what you're wondering.
Out of what movie?
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you might have known a little bit of context.
There's
Just a tiny bit.
No, there's a reference I'm missing here.
In the book It.
Yes.
You know what it's about?
Vaguely.
Killer alien being that takes the form of a clown,
Yeah,
terrorizes kids. At the end of the first half of it, when they beat Pennywise for the first time and they're solidifying the group will come back in 27 years to spoilers for fucking It. I guess there has to be something because the new movie did come out.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm wondering how this relates to the
yes.
word.
Oh yes, a group of children that beat Pennywise. They replaced it in the movie by them cutting their hands and doing like the blood oath. They all take turns having sex with the only female in the group after to solidify the pact and their bond. They took it out of the movies, thank God. But yeah, that's where I was going with that. I'm sorry we had to take that detour.
No, I have no words. Like, why?
Steven Spielberg did.
Not my intention, but like,
if that don't go in, that's a dice line.
I realized my folder of dice lines isn't nearly as deep as I thought it was while I was editing that other podcast.
Man, I cuss too much and I'm not funny. Thanks.
Wow. No, I meant you don't say a lot of things that can be taken horribly out of context on the podcast.
Oh, that's good. Just in the Let's Plays, because you could literally, there's no video to my voice. Mm-hmm. All of it's out of context if there's no video evidence. That's a nice little theory, though. I do like the trying to gauge somebody by what they know about music. Speaking. Oh, nope, good.
I was just going to say, there's not a lot of artists that have a discography that really spans decades like that.
Well, you can't gauge the masses, but you can gauge a certain fan base with Juggalos and the Insane Clown Posse because they have a discography that lasts that long.
As long as Weird Al? I don't think so. Weird
the
Al's
Insane Clown
old,
Posse
man.
has been around since 1992.
Yeah, dude, Weird Al has shit. He's got to have shit going back to the 80s.
Okay, that's fair. If you want to count Inner City Posse, but hey. Okay, fine. Take that out. I was wrong. You got me. I was wrong.
No, I mean, but that is a good one. There's, like I said, there's not a lot
Was Prince making albums before he died? Or was he retired?
Wait, what? Prince is dead.
Yeah. Before he died, was he still making albums?
Spoiler, sorry, Prince is dead.
Was he retired?
Was he retired from what? I'm confused by your question. I'm sorry.
So if Prince was still making albums to the point that he died, he would have just as big of a discography as Weird Al would.
Yeah,
Was
I feel
Prince
so.
still making albums before he died, or am I missing a point where he retired? I was not the biggest Prince fan, and the only song I really can say I know by him is "Purple Rain."
I mean,
and "When Doves Cry."
I don't think he died of old age.
I don't know how old he was when he passed.
I don't think he died of old age. But he still has music that's being released like recently of unreleased music that he had.
Okay, so you could judge Prince fans.
You can judge Prince fans.
Not off the tier thing.
I know.
Fuck
I
off.
know.
Although it'd be weird to be a new one after you figure out he's died. Though I didn't know about Avicii until very recently.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought he was just a DJ who was out having some fun. I did not know all the craziness behind his story.
It's this...
Also how he went. Oof.
Yeah. Not for the faint of heart. Don't look that up. But if you want to listen to Avicii's music, it's very poppy and uplifting.
It puts a lot, when you hear it, it puts a lot of context into some music.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
But I had a pivot.
My pivot was, what's your Tasty Jam of the Week?
I was also going to say it's the same as like when you discover an artist after they've already broken up with the band. Like when I discovered the Civil Wars, it was after Barton Hollow was already released, or that album, Poison and Wine. And then I was like, oh man, that's so exciting. When's the next one going to come out? And they just went, never.
I thought you meant in the context, like you discover somebody who went solo after they've been in the band, and even though there's very famous people like Beyonce who have done that, my first mind went to Deuce from fucking Hollywood Undead and how his solo career is just tanked.
Yeah, that's what happens most of the time.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. I was like, you like the solo guy whenever he's hated amongst everybody in the fan base? Yeah, no. But no, I see what you mean. After the group had split up and you discovered them.
They'll never make that kind of music again. Sometimes they'll come back around, but I don't think that specific group is anywhere close to that kind of resolution.
I wonder, like, because reuniting is really cool. Like with the Zug Island tour, I got not tour, the Zug Island reunion. I got to see at one of the ICP concerts. Was really cool because they hadn't been around for years. So it's always awesome to get like. They didn't play anything new, but I never got to see them before, and I thought I never would. So it was cool whenever they showed up at the venue.
One of my favorite bluegrass groups, Nickel Creek, were broken up for a very long time. What?
No, I just Nickelback popped in my head again.
My favorite
like-
bluegrass band,
I was
Nickelback.
like, no, my brain was like, is that we were talking about Weird Al the whole time, and I'm like, that's the comedy band for bluegrass, I guess, is Nickel Creek.
No. They were like Chris Thiele. I talk about him a lot.
Yeah, I've heard
He's
his name.
part of the Punch Brothers. He won the MacArthur Grant. He's a fucking genius. And oh, there it was.
You're the one who said that's the guy you said should have been Bohemian Rhapsody Queen.
No, that was Mike Martell.
Okay, then I apologize.
That's okay. He's an excellent mandolin player. He's a wonderful singer and lyricist, and this dude is literally a genius. But he was originally, when he was a kid, he was in a band with, I believe it's his sister and one of their friends, and they were all like virtuosos on their instruments. Not the original debut. I believe their self-titled album and the one after it was actually produced by Alison Krauss.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so like they have big ties into like the country and bluegrass world, and they were all considered like virtuosos on their instruments. It's just Chris Thiele was the one that like when the band started splitting ways, he went like straight to the top and started doing like other gigs very quickly and creating his own side projects, and he's super talented. Apparently he's a dick. That's another thing I've heard. I mean, you hear that a lot about celebrities,
Hey,
but
money goes to people's heads, bro. I mean, it happens.
yeah, absolutely. And I think
could you ever imagine being like that, like having a stature where you're just an asshole to people below you? I feel like I've been too low on the totem pole for too long to ever fucking treat people like that. I don't have that vengeance in my brain. I'm like, please don't do things for me.
Yeah.
I could never have a house servant. I could never fucking have like a butler or something like that.
I could, but I would treat them very differently than the way that butlers I see are traditionally treated.
My brain would just fucking go, why is he cleaning that? That's my mess. I gotta clean that. Like, that would be my brain. I'm like, I gotta clean that up. He shouldn't have to clean that up. That's my mess. Like, I don't know if that's how, just because I was raised like that or whatever, but it bugs me. Like, it would kill me.
That's fair.
Though some days I would like a housekeeper for when I leave the house. Sure. That'd be nice to come home to a nice clean place.
You want a worker you can contract to come clean your house every week for money, which is what a butler is.
Yeah, but it's so quick. Like, I just finished my bowl of cereal and he's taking it away. And it just so responsive. Like, I don't know. I couldn't be that spoiled.
That's fair.
I need a sense of responsibility in my life. Even though Dot's going to hear this and just be like, you don't fucking clean the dishes now. But
oh, we have a chore chart now.
I need one. I need one for myself.
That's it. That was like the end of the talk that I had with my wife. I was like, if a chore chart won't help you, it'll at least help me keep organized. So like, can we do it? And she was like, oh yeah, absolutely.
When we did that 30-day workout and I had my days planned out, that was the most productive I had been in a long time. And since I have stopped, I've realized my productivity has stopped and I need to go back to it. Like, that's something I learned through COVID.
You can't say COVID.
It's something I learned through the...
I think there was something else. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, like people talking about celebrities being dicks.
that.
I feel like there is also something to be said about when you have I don't want to say a higher intelligence, but I'm gonna fucking say it. I did it again. When you have like a higher intelligence, some things fall to the wayside. Like, if I am thinking of my next great work and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, will you sign my banjo strings?" I might be incredibly busy and say, like, no, like, and in a moment, snap and go, like, no, fuck off. I'm working on things that are way more important. And even if I don't snap to that degree and get angry with them, it's like, I am working on things way more important. I can't be bothered with this. So I agree. It's like sometimes they're being dicks.
No, okay, I could see that. I guess to have a reputation of a dick, I feel like it's more than just being disturbed one time, being caught like that. I feel like you earn a reputation by being a dick on multiple occasions or having the repertoire to be called such.
That's fair. There's a distinction. If you ever see like your favorite celebrity out in the wild and they're like having dinner and you go up and be like, "Can I get an autograph?" and they say no, it doesn't mean they're dicks. They just want to have a nice dinner.
Like, you don't have to be Keanu Reeves level of a good guy. You don't have to buy breakfast and everything for the whole staff to be a good guy or anything like that. I get that. And I get if you're at work at the same time and you're in the middle of a set and somebody's being rude to you and you're trying to do your thing and then you tell them to excuse themselves while you do your work.
To excuse themselves.
That's also fine. I mean, you can handle it. I wouldn't snap immediately, but I get the portions where, yeah, okay, you're bugging somebody for something and now you're calling them a dick because you were an asshole in the situation. But I feel like to be labeled that, especially around the like world, you have to like to have a reputation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You have to have done it on multiple occasions to some kind of higher degree.
That's fair. But those people do tend to create some tasty jams.
Yes, they do. However, I don't know if my tasty jam of the week, if that guy is a dick or not. I hope he's not, because my tasty jam of the week is really soul and happy-ish.
True that. Tell us about your tasty jam this week.
My tasty jam this week is Can You Do This by Aloe Black. It is off the album that a lot of people, I think, started to discover who Aloe Black was, including myself.
What was the big song off that album
That
with
was-
Aloe Black?
It had the Wake Me Up, which Avicii did. I don't know if it was
Wake
Avicii.
me up. Okay,
It
yeah,
was
that
one.
one.
And it was I'm the Man, which was like the big,
Yeah.
the big bombastic thing where he makes a lot of like soul, feel good music. He does have some really tasty love jams, some really deep stuff that make you think. He also made the song "I Need a Dollar, Dollar, the dollar is what I need."
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, really? I think that's an old song that I didn't know Aloe Black made.
So
But,
he was a writer before he had like a singing career?
I don't know. He sung that song.
Like
that's-
before he
I-
got famous, that was a song that he sang.
I
on.
don't even. Like I said, that's just when I discovered who Aloe Black was the Man in "Wake Me Up." But that was another popular song of his apparently. So he'd probably been famous before those songs, and that's just when I realized who he was. Which I think a lot of people in at least my friend base realized who he was too, because I played the hell out of the Man. It was my favorite song of that year. But off that, I listened to the whole album multiple times. He always, like, if I'm in a bad mood or something like that, if I throw on that music, it makes you feel lifted. Like, it's not religious, but it definitely lifts your spirits high. In fact, I think the album's called "Lift Your Spirits." But like, it's a very uplifting song. It's very catchy, very smooth. It has a lot of soul to it. I just love the music. His voice is Ooh, there's my first one.
I'm proud of you, baby.
But his voice is just like velvet. It's so
It is. I don't think
smooth.
I don't think I've heard any of his slower, softer stuff, but like even listening to like remembering "Wake Me Up," the one that he did with Avicii, was like he has a voice.
The song-
I know he can dip down into those sultry, silky tones.
The version on the album is like the non-EDM version. It's like
Oh,
the real
okay.
version. And then I would recommend for a nice love jam, "Red Velvet Seat" is such a beautiful song. And then like in the serious tones and things like that, "Ticking Bomb" off that album is very good. But I highly recommend, and Tasty Jam of the Week is "Can You Do This?" because it makes me feel good every time I hear it.
Nice. So I had the conundrum this week for my Tasty Jam. When I compiled the playlist a few weeks back, I realized very quickly that I mostly just recommend rap. And I wanted to try to diversify this week, but I was looking through my jams, and the only like I kept coming back to the same one. I've been on this Dreamville kick for a month now, but Spillage Village just released a new song called Baptize. It is definitely a song that you need to sit down and listen to. It's not one for casual listening, I feel. It feels a lot like I compare it to the oh, I don't remember if the album was called Redbone by Childish Gambino, but it's one that you can sit down and just listen to, but you really want to just kind of let it like sit in it and let yourself just listen to it. Spillage Village is a collection of some Dreamville artists and some other guys. Notably, in Spillage Village, Earth Gang, JID. I think for this particular song, they brought Mariba in, who did some stuff on Revenge 3. And I believe Baz and Loot are in the group as well, which are two more Dreamville artists. And listen to it. Expect not to understand exactly what the words are talking about the first go through. And if you get the chance to watch the video for it, I highly recommend watching the video because it definitely adds visuals that help you piece together what the song is about. Also, we talked a lot about Top Down and Earth Gang in a previous one. Not Olu, the one with dreads, Dr. Dot. Dr. Dot has the best verse I've ever heard him say.
Cool.
Like going through Mirrorland was a bombshell album. It rocked my socks off, and both Dot and Olu had really good verses, but like on Baptize, Dot is on a new level, and I really hope, I know we're not going to get new music from them anytime soon because Mirrorland just came out, I think in the latter half of 2019. So it's going to be a while before we see some new music from them, but I'm very excited to see what's on the horizon because the entire Dreamville cast is only going to get better. Mm-hmm. Especially with JID. I'm so hyped about JID, man. I smile every time I think about it because he's gonna go places, and I'm super excited.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you found a record label to obsess over almost. And you want to talk about judging your own picks and things like that. I know we didn't put them all on the Spotify list because most of my recommendations for a couple weeks straight were just Daddy Fat Snaps over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
I think specifically when we started making the playlist, I was like, all right, I have to recommend new things or else it's just going to be Daddy Fat Snaps music with thing. Speaking of that, go listen to the Miriam rap. Hook is fire.
Also, if you haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, go watch it.
I've decided that I will not watch Food Wars, which is the next anime I wanted to watch, intertwined with One Piece. I'm not watching Food Wars until I start watching Hunter x Hunter. Speaking of One Piece, though, my God, I don't know if I got to talk about it, but
I don't think you've talked about One Piece for a while. How's that going?
I am in the Thriller Bark arc, which is pretty cool so far. I have met the Humming Swordsman Brook, which is a skeleton bard person. He has a song which I might have accidentally spoiled a piece of. Okay, it's weird. I spoiled a piece of One Piece thing for me.
Just One Piece?
Like one little tiny thing. I spoiled a connection between this character and an old character, but in the next episode they revealed it. So I was like, if I was just patient, because I went and looked up the song, because his yo ho ho ho's got stuck in my head, and I wanted to hear the song, and they didn't play the full thing yet, and I was like, I want to know what this is.
That's fair.
So I spoiled it for myself, but in the next episode they revealed it. But the Ennie's Lobby arc, the one prior to this, my God, Ennie's Lobby in Water 7 was the greatest storytelling I have ever experienced in my entire life.
Ooh.
To
be fair, what episode number are you on approximately?
Yeah, I should definitely preface that. Right now I am on episode like 350 something. I'm in the middle of the Thriller Bark arc.
One Piece is in a prime position to have those moments of what's the word I'm looking for? Extraordinary storytelling, because there is so much premise behind it. You have spent a lot of time with these characters already, and if they have invested the time and energy into each one of their stories, they have the opportunity to create beautiful storytelling moments.
I cannot remember off the top of my head the creator's name, and I need to look it up while I do it because he deserves respect. But the man who created One Piece is hands down, the greatest writer. Like, I have to believe in existence, because he said since day one that he started writing this manga, he knows how it ends. It still hasn't ended. And he has such beautiful world building. Everything leaves you encaptured. There's almost like, I will compare it to another crazy fandom in the Five Nights at Freddy's things. It's almost like everything is everything is intentional. If you are shown it, remember it, because it plays a part somewhere. And like, to say the character who I spoiled that little connection to, I'm on episode 353. We met that character in like episode 78. Like, crazy world building, and how like even the little filler things, like one of the big filler between the main ending of the Enies Lobby arc and into the Thriller Bark arc, they have how they do their power rankings things is their bounties. And the bounties are really cool because it's not just based off strength, it's based off like why the government would want you dead or something like that, or want you captured. So like one of the best people is Nico Robin, for example, that she's not the strongest in the world, but she has an ability to read very ancient writing that the government don't want to get out. So her bounty's like, she was 7 years old and her bounty was like 80 million berries. Shit like that. Creator of One Piece.
I was going to say that's very similar to, I don't have that connection with media except for through Critical Role. I've kept up with Critical Role since... I mean, I started watching it mid-season 1, but like Campaign 2, I've followed since the beginning. And spoilers for not the most recent episode of Critical Role, but the one before it, I can't remember the episode number. There was a moment exactly like that where, you know, each episode's at least let's say average 4 hours long. There's 400 hours of me getting to know these characters, except for Molly Mock, R.I.P. But there was this moment where one of the clerics in the group, their god was literally being pulled in by another god to be imprisoned, and it was only saved through the characters. Like, it's, why would you care for this wretched being? Look at all the people he has duped all around us, and like there's literally people, a crowd of 200 people around the ring of a volcano that he has duped essentially into coming to this place. And like the character's line was just, because I love him. And it was like this moment of, this wouldn't have had the same effect if we didn't have all of these character building moments of literally her and her god doing, like, playing pranks and doing all these fun tricks and becoming this intertwinable duo. And I cried. I cried like a child during that entire scene.
Oh my god!
And then 10 minutes later, I was laughing because the characters are so good.
I'm going to butcher the first name, and I apologize because this man deserves respect. I think it's Ichiro Oda. Ichiro or Oda. I know Oda is the last name, but I think. So yesterday, a little bit behind the curtain, we had a meeting about the new D&D campaign that's coming. Ooh. We were asked what we want in the campaign, and I don't think, I am 27 years old, and I don't think ever in my life that I care about it so much before, but I've realized I like world building. I like things playing a part and coming back and just tie-ins. I like the small hints you can find that go, if you paid close enough attention to this and this and this, and you can piece together that these people were put together before they reveal it and stuff like that. I love that intertwining. Even like I was saying in the little parts where they were showing the bounties, all it did was just like show how the bounties are dispersed among all the cities, including the cities that the Straw Hat Gang had visited and all the allies they made and stuff like that. So they all get to see how well the Straw Hats are doing. Even stuff like the little filler makes me fucking tear up. Makes me tear up. Because it's overwhelming. It's okay, these characters are still not forgotten. Their lives, you can see that it's like a quick shot. Even if you're reading the manga panel or the watching the anime, it's just a quick shot, and you can see how the cities are dealing with the aftermath of the pirate crew and things like that. It's very, very well done, very well written.
And that makes a lot of sense, because even in a shorter medium, looking at horror movies, if you pay close attention in horror movies, you can catch the little details that are like breadcrumbs to what the nemesis, what the evil thing is doing, and you normally get that through a second watch, where you pick up on those little breadcrumbs.
Yeah, one of the best things Mallow ever taught us is watch the movie twice.
If you like a movie, watch it at least twice. Well, if you like a movie, you're probably going to watch it twice. If you think you might like a movie and you're not sure, watch it twice. You're gonna catch a lot more. It's worth it.
I would honestly say, yeah, unless you're absolutely sure you hate it, I would actually say watch every movie twice. Because you can go back into it with either like the big ending revealed and things like that. A good movie will always warrant a second watch through to figure it out.
Is there a movie that y'all liked better on the second watch? Let us know down in the comments below. And this is your second warning, I believe. The podcast is going to be taking a little break during the month of October, and we're going to be bringing you some awesome horror movie reviews. A
couple of horror movie reviews. We don't know if we're doing all 4 Fridays.
We're not sure. I said a little break. So during October, we're gonna be bringing you some extra spooky content. If there's some movies that you want to hear us review, feel free to drop those down in the comments as well. I am admittedly I have watched the first movie that Dice brought up on his list, and I actually enjoyed it. And true to form, it was better on the second watch. Even if he did wear 12 pairs of shoes in the course of 3 hours. But we're going to get to that. If there's movies you want to hear us talk about, drop them down in the comments. Make sure you also like this video so YouTube knows we do a good job making content for all you lovely people.
Give us a like. I only said the F word twice, and I think he only said it 3 times. That's a big improvement.
Hey, you know what?
Thumbs up for improvement.
Thumbs up for improvement.
We listen to criticism.
You know what? This is a time of improvement for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Vicarious therapy, baby.
I am excited. Vicarious therapy.
Vicarious therapy. That's a title on an album. Absolutely.
I am excited for October.
Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when we release new content. Let us know that you like what you're seeing, and if you want to see something different, I don't know, tell us.
Tell us. We listen to criticism.
We do. This is proof.
We listen.
The proof is in the pudding. And boy, I would like some pudding.
I think I have some upstairs.
Oh, dude, I brought popcorn.